Welcome back to another episode of ShedLife UK. Today we're going to be reviewing my 2000 Nissan Micra. This is a 1 litre, so it's not the biggest of engines and it's not the most horsepower, with only 54 from factory. Probably only got half of that because of how old it is. It's the same age as me, which is quite weird thinking that I would be driving a car that's the same age as me. It's a really good little beater car. If you're ever looking for a car that you just want to take to the shops or throw things in the back of, or, you know, just literally beat on, these are really good cars. Like, they're reliable, they're really easy to get parts for. That's also if you're a new driver as well. I feel like these are really good because you don't have the rev counter, so it means you kind of have to learn the engine, learn the revs, and I'm probably saying that, but there's probably so many better cars to learn in, like newer cars nowadays with all the ABS, because this doesn't have it. This was also very cheap because it's a beater. This cost me only £270, which isn't a lot for these. You'd mostly find these £500 upwards. If you do find any that are lower, they're mostly spares and repairs and probably are very broken or broken into. Not this one. Yeah, apart from that, these are really good little cars, really cheap to run, really reliable, and just fun little cars as well. Like, you can lower them, you can make them look really cool, and if you want, you could turbo them, which this is not going to get turboed at any point in its life because it's going to get beaten on. So apart from that, we'll do a little walk round and then we'll go for a little test drive. So this is a facelift Micra. So the pre-facelifts had a bit of a flatter lighting and less of a bubblier look. They are cool looking as well as these, but I personally think these are the better looking ones. Mine came with alloys. They don't normally come with that. You will most of the time find them with random steelies that they come with out of factory. Quite boring, but you know, they come with hubcaps as well. It's a 3-door, as you heard in the last video. Most of the time you can find some in 5-door as well. So if you wanted that option as well, you could find a 5-door version. The sunroof is the only thing that works. These windows don't work for me, but obviously also they have electric windows, so that's good. You don't have the roll up manual ones, so that's a pretty snazzy feature with that as well. The boot works, which I found out. You had to use a key, but that means they're not easily break-inable because you have to have a key to do it, and you don't have to worry about locking it every time because locked. There we go. Tiny little pea shooter. You've got enough space there to put a cannon in there if you really want. That's if you're looking to modify it anyways. Apart from that, really, it's a good little car all round. It does look really good. Well, personally, I think anyways. A lot of people do like these cars. Here's the engine. Pretty, you know, self-explanatory really. You've got your core packs and spark plugs here. You've got your oil down here for your checking of the oils. Put your oil in here, obviously, top and bottom. You know, your alternators down there. You've got your air intake here. Got your battery here. You've got your coolant here. You've got your washer fluid here if you really want to have washer fluid in it. Or you can pee in it, up to you. Yeah, that's pretty much it really. I found out my coolant's got a massive hole in it, so that's also a good thing to look out for. I might need a new one of them. Right, so we're on the drive now, obviously. Ryan has joined us just to give a little perspective on the passenger side, and also to ask some questions on the performance and some general questions on how it performs.
So my first question for you, how does this car handle on the big roads? Because with a Micra, it might struggle on A roads and motorways.
You'd be surprised. You'll be very surprised. It doesn't like getting up to speed very fast, because obviously the little 1 litre doesn't have much oomph. But when it is up to speed and it does like get to the speed that you want to be at, it sits there comfortably. Like, it doesn't sound like it wants to die. So if you're sat at 60, probably better for it, but you can sit up at 70, 75 and it doesn't sound like it wants to die.
It's not screaming its head off too much.
No, exactly. Okay. And it does just cruise at that speed.
Okay, so B roads, this is what it's all about, I guess.
B roads, It's kind of like a boat. You can throw it around corners, you can sling it round anything really, and it will roll. Obviously 20-year-old suspension, it will feel like absolute dog, but I reckon coilovers, bushings, it will sort that out nicely.
Okay, so what's the acceleration like?
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Non-existent.
Hang on, let me drop down some gears. I'm in third.
We're not moving.
No, I'm foot flat. We're doing 50.
Oh, see,
55.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does take a while to get up to speed. So if you are looking to overtake someone, or you are looking to have a bit of fun in the back roads, I would say maybe upgrade it.
Car.
Yeah, that or go the 1.3.
You can probably flash it, and you're not going to break any speed limits. That's one good point.
That is very true. That is very true.
Fantastic.
You can have your foot flat to the floor and not have to worry about anything.
There you go. You can drive 10 temps, and
Exactly.
the brakes.
Brakes, they work perfect. Well, for a Micra.
For a Micra.
Yeah, don't have ABS, like I've said. It stops you, and that's all you really need. I'm happy with my brakes.
Okay, and then fuel consumption.
Not too bad. I've never actually filled it up fully.
Okay,
so I don't know. I've only ever put £20 or 30 quid in, but for that I
lasts
do
long
normally
enough.
get about. So if I put 30 quid in, I get about 200 miles. 20 quid, I get 250. 250, something like that.
That's
no,
pretty-
well, not 250. 150. There we go.
I was going to say that sounded a lot.
Yeah, it
but
sounded like it broke. Yeah.
that's still not bad.
Yeah, it's not
bad. Noise in here. Like, does it get noisy on the motorways? Like at the moment, like B roads,
Not really.
it's pretty nice.
No, I think it's nice. Like you can have the radio on and not have to worry about turning it up every time you go faster. Sorry, and it's just it's a pleasant place to be.
Okay, that's what we like to hear. And I mean, as a passenger, it rides nicely. Like no complaints. There's lots of room. It's surprising
There is a lot,
how much room is in the front. I don't know how it is in the back seats. We're not going to find that out.
Yeah, we won't find out because I use it as a van at the moment. So
Yeah, 2-seater van.
yeah.
But it's nice and spacious in here. I've got tons of legroom, tons of headroom.
Yep, and obviously you've got the sunroof. So
Sunroof.
if you ever wanted, if it was ever summer, you can have that roof open and off you go.
Yeah, so I think that really sums up our short little test drive, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it's there's not much more to say. Like, if you want to have a little back road
Weapon.
coilovers, bushings, turbo, little things, off you go. You'll have a whale of a time with one of these, I reckon.
Definitely. So if anyone has any questions, let us know in the comments.
Let us know.
That's the drive wrapped up.
Yeah.
Would I recommend this car to anyone looking to buying either a first car or like a little cheap runaround? Yeah, I would. These engines are really good, really reliable. You can put them through their limits and have a lot of fun around the back roads. Yeah, it's not the most powerful, but you know, little engines, more fun. There is a couple of things to look out for on these, and that is the rear suspension mountings. They do normally rust and corrode, so if you see that on the MOT history, or if you jack it up and have a look around the area, and it's rusted, run away, or be prepared to spend a lot of money fixing it. Probably wouldn't want to do that because obviously it's a cheap little runaround. Probably wouldn't want to do that, but if you want to, up to you. There is obviously one other thing, and that is the distributor. That does corrode, and on like a moist morning, like if you're going to work or you're going to the shops, it might not start because of the corrosion. Just depends on how bad it is. So be prepared to replace one of them. They're not that expensive, so probably worth it. You never know, you might buy a non-starting Micra and that might be the only problem with it. So do look into that if you do buy one. They're cheap to run, cheap to drive, fun little car to run around, and that's it really. Yeah, that's it. That's my review on the Micra. Goodbye.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.